Hey, this is Brant with Vintage Statements, and today we've got a nice little dresser that we're actually going to turn into a dog dresser, so follow along. Alright, you heard me right. Nice little small dresser or a large nightstand. Well, what we're going to do is turn this into a dog dresser, what that means is we're going to pull this top off, so it's going to hinge. We're going to glue these two top drawers in the front of it. We're going to remove all the back of it. We're going to create a box in here for dog food. Here's going to be our treat drawer, and here, when we slide this out, it's going to be for our dog's trays. So, pretty cool little project. First thing we gotta do, remove the hardware, pull the drawers, make sure the frame will work, and then we can get started working on how to get that top off, and well, what else we gotta do to this thing. Alright, so we've got to take this back piece off so we can get to a couple screws up here to get this top off. There's a couple on the back side, a couple down each side, and a couple in the front. It's not the easiest project, but luckily on this back it's all screws. So what we'll do is pull all those out, we'll get those screws out, we can put the back in, and well, we can get the rest of those screws out and get this top off. So let's get started. Alright, the top is off. We've got this gluing in this corner here. It was a little loose. Put some glue in there, tighten it up, so we'll have a solid structure here. Next step is we're going to remove this piece on both of these two, and then we're going to remove this little plywood piece here, create a box here. Actually, we're just going to remove this top one. We're going to leave this bottom one in, but we're going to remove the track. So two tracks, one of these, and then we can start moving into some drawers. So let's get started. Alright, so we got those tracks removed. We got the space here. So what we're going to create here is a box inside here for the dog food. So I've got the two drawers that match these spots. The other two drawers I'm not going to touch yet, but for these two I'm going to remove the sides and everything, trying to keep everything in good quality, try not to bust up anything, just like all the pieces I've removed. Try to keep them in good quality. We're going to try to use them as structure pieces to hold the box in place, the backs of these, all that good stuff. So keep that as a note in the back of your head. We're taking things apart, we're not destroying things. So let's get started removing the backs, sides, and all that off these, and then we can figure out how we're going to get them to sit in here. Alright, overnight what we did was we let these pieces glue, which will allow us to glue the fronts to these, because they're going to be just solid state. So that's what we're going to do this morning, is glue this up real nice. We're going to sit on its back, glue them in, put the faces on, and then we can start working on these two bottom drawers. Actually, this drawer's not going to have anything done to it, but this one we've got to create a shelf on the top for the bowls to go into. So we'll be working on that here next. But let's get this all glued in so those can start drying and we can start bringing this piece back to life. now what we've got to do is we've got to bust up the bottom drawer. Now we've got to make sure that we do this really well. We don't want to break anything, because if we do, well, this whole project might be scrapped, or at least we're gonna have to do a lot more work to get it back into order. So we gotta bust the sides out the back, try to keep everything healthy, nothing breaks, fingers crossed. The reason why is we gotta pull this out, and on the inside here, just like there's a track on the bottom here, which we're gonna leave this baseboard here, we're gonna put another cut line across here, and we're gonna put one of the other drawers from one of the other ones in that groove, and that'll give us a spot to cut out and put the bowls in. And then we'll put a support beam down the middle, maybe down the sides, anchor this in a little bit heavier. And that's why we left all that other stuff for the anchors, the supports, all that. But first, we've got to get this drawer pulled apart without breaking it. So nice soft taps, equal, and let's go from there. We've got the table saw set up for the same depth as this cut. What we're going to do is just flip it, and we're going to create that same cut at the same depth on this end. So right around here. So should be fun. Let's get started. So we've got the drawer drawing, we put it all back together. Well, let's take a quick look at that. So, still got to dry, but we got our top piece, we still got our bottom. It's all still functional. So we'll be spending the rest of the day letting that dry. Now what we're going to do now is build the box for inside here. So I have some leftover plywood that's going to work perfect for this project. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create the bottom, create the sides, and the end caps here out of this wood. Hopefully we have enough. And then we'll start screwing it all together, glue it all together, and well, we'll pretty much be done for the day while this all dries. So let's get started finishing this piece and cutting it all up for this. Alright, here's our box. We got it all in. It's getting glued, letting it dry. So today, this project is complete. We gotta let everything from the drawer to this box dry. And then tomorrow, or next weekend, what we'll do is we'll start sanding this piece down and giving it some more shape. I'll buy some bowls so we can cut those holes for that. And we'll do some more structural sound pieces just to make sure this is all good to go. Get some hinges, that type of stuff. So the hard part's done. Now we can start sanding, finessing, and finalizing this piece. Now what color are we gonna paint it? Alright, we are to everybody's favorite part, sanding. Well, it's got to be done though. So we got our DeWalt sander, 80 grit sandpaper. We're gonna sand the top, edges, work our way down this piece. Anything that we can't do with the DeWalt sander will come back and hand sand, which will be just kind of this edge, this little groove line here, and maybe the edges of this dresser here. Outside that, should be a pretty quick sand. Other than that corner over there where the polyurethane's kind of been melted, we'll sand that out. We'll sand this piece down, which will give us a good grip for that paint. So let's get started. Alright, we are to a point where we can start painting. Now we still got to cut these out. We'll put some support underneath of it. Other than that, I think we're pretty much done with any construction and cutting or anything like that. And since I don't have the bowls yet, well, we can do that a little bit later. So we're going to paint this twice, both drawers, the top, bottom and top, all the sides, and that frame twice. We're going to use Behr Prime and Paint. It is a eggshell finish and it's called Very Navy. It's in the Behr category. So let's get started. Alright, we've got a drawer set up here. Now we're going to put the bowls in. So behind here I got the 2 bowls, and what I did was I measured the width. I came in 3.5 inches on both sides here, and then I went 1 inch from the front back to the lip here. The reason I did that instead of centering it in the middle here is when you pull this drawer out, if it sits in the middle here, the back side of this bowl may still be sitting inside and makes it harder for the dog. So what we do is we slide that up pretty close to the front here. Gives us a little bit of a lip, so if the dog food goes down in here, it's fine, it's all captured in here. And well, they'll have more access to the whole entire bowl. So that's where we set it up. We flipped it over, we created our outline, and then what I did is I went back in with this lip, that diameter or that distance, I created a circle inside that, which is what we're going to cut out here. So I'm going to drill a hole here. I'm going to use our skill saw to cut this out, and then what we'll do is we'll look at it, see how strong it is, and maybe we'll put some reinforcements underneath here. Okay, so now we're at a point where we can start sanding all this down if you want. We do. We're going to vintage this up a little bit. We're just going to scuff the edges, give it a little bit of a scuff feel to it, more of a farm style. Now, you could skip this step and progress to sealing it and putting the hardware on, but, well, we're going to scuff it up a little bit here real quick. We're going to use old sandpaper, 80 grit sandpaper that we use to sand down pieces. And then we're just going to scuff the edges, just give it a little bit of a worn-in look. We'll do the 2 drawers, and then we'll start on that frame. sanded it down. We vacuumed it and wiped it off. Now we can seal it. So with our dogs, I like to use clean products. Like most of my dressers that I do, we're gonna just use a finishing paste. We're gonna do the piece over, drawers, top, and then we can start hinging the top on, putting the hardware on, and well, next time you see this, it's gonna be completed. Alright, it is complete. I've got my supervisor out here and well, she's pretty excited to use it, but she's not gonna get to use this. We have one just like this inside that you use. So, 2 drawers. You got the top up here. It hinges open. Fill it with dog food. And then we've got our special treat drawer, which I've got a little treat here for you. You like that? Yeah, good. Treat drawer slides. You can hide the bowls when you have company come over. Close the top, and people will just think it's a dresser, but the dogs will enjoy it. And well, they may even get it dirtier too, so you may have to clean it up every once in a while, but that's okay, isn't it? We waxed it, we painted it, we constructed it from a normal dresser, and well, the end product's pretty cool. If you like this and many of our other projects, subscribe to our channel, like us on Facebook and Instagram, and well, we'll keep trying to do some cool projects for you. How about you?